All right. Welcome, everybody. It is Rob McFadden, and soon to be joining us is going to be Matthew Taylor, Mr. NoCollar Atlanta. Looking forward to him dialing in right now. So, first of all, just wanted to say welcome to everybody. It's my pleasure to host this Hangout. This is Rob McFadden, the NoCollar Pro, hosting my third ever Google Hangout for Project Freedom 100. And I have Matt in my ear right now, and he's just getting ready to join us, and he'll be kind of a co-host for this particular event. Looking forward to it. These Google Hangouts are approximately 30 minutes in length, and the intention or the goal of this particular Hangout is like any of our conference calls or any of the other Hangouts, and that is to introduce you to two things. Well, three things. First thing is to introduce you to the idea or the concept that we are going to put 100,000 people on the path to financial security in the next 9 months using WakeUpNow as a vehicle to do that. So that is number one I want you to understand, is this is a Project Freedom 100 to help liberate or put people on the path to financial security. The second, Matt will be joining us here in just a second. So the second thing is to help people understand or get a grasp of how is WakeUpNow going to be that vehicle. So that's the second thing I want you to understand, that out of this Hangout, hopefully you understand that WakeUpNow is going to specifically be the vehicle we're going to talk about. And the third thing is, why at all? Why is it that you want to be a business owner? So those are the three things we're going to talk about, and Matt has just joined us, and looking forward to interviewing him a little bit. And the reason that I invited Matt is because specifically he is a rising star. I mean, this guy is amazing. Just his ability to communicate with people, and once he gets set, we'll go ahead and start interviewing him. So let me just give you a little bit of background. Matt, you just put you on mute for a second. Here, I'll mute you because it keeps jumping back and forth to you. All right, so I've got him on mute just for a second so I can get a couple of points out, and then we'll go ahead and bring him on. So specifically, what I want to cover is Project Freedom 100. How did it come about? Now, if you go to the projectfreedom100.com, you can look at the blog section on that, and you can read a couple of blog entries that I wrote one, Ryan Lelf wrote one, and you can get a really good understanding about how this whole vision came about. I can tell you it's a worthwhile vision, it's an audacious vision, and it's an accomplishable vision. And how I was doing a three-way call with a heavy hitter the other day, and this guy said, "Hey Rob, I love the fact that you guys have this big audacious goal. How is it that you plan on accomplishing that?" So really, it was important for me to kind of outline to him what was our objective in accomplishing that and how we were going to do it. And I said, okay, well, the first thing we're going to do is we've come together as a team. There are so many groups under the brand of NoCollar. There's the NoCollar Pros, or Team NoCollar. There's Global Moneymakers. There's Team Leverage. There is the Legendary Life crew out of Hawaii. There is Tribe YOLO. There's Blow Up Team. I mean, I could go on and on and on. There are so many different brands or team identities underneath the NoCollar umbrella that in reality we started to feel a little bit fragmented. And so Ryan and I discussed some options about kind of throwing back in on the same brand. We even discussed renaming NoCollar to NoCollar YOLO. I mean, we discussed all sorts of different options. But in the end, Ryan kind of ran across a video by one of the top income earners in the industry, a guy named Holton Buggs. And this guy's a $1 million a month or over $1 million a month earner. And when Ryan watched this video, he really talked about kind of launching your business. And so he got this crazy hair to start Project Freedom 100 and put 100,000 people in, and it was just this kind of an initiative that he had started. But a couple weeks after he had started it, we were in Park City together at a leadership retreat, an escape trip, and we were just talking back and forth. We were, shooting the bull about it, and I asked him how things were going, and he says, I would love it if we could all throw in together under this. And all of a sudden the light bulbs came on, and within 2 days we brought all these other teams back under this global brand of Project Freedom 100. We all keep our individual identities, but yet as a group we're all working for one common goal under one common brand. And so it's the best of both worlds. Now, when we first launched it, we had over 200 exposures on day one through our series of 3 conference calls and this Google Hangout at night. And beyond that, we've averaged around 100 exposures a day. That, I don't know about you, but if you can expose your business to 100 people a day, that's a pretty good exposure. So we've had some great traction with it. It's certainly fun to see those conference calls and hosting those conference calls and seeing people dial in from all over, get people pinging in from Hawaii and New Jersey and Florida and Texas and Oklahoma and Chicago, and I mean everywhere you name it, people are dialing in. And it's very exciting to do those calls. We record them, we post them not only on projectfreedom100.com, but they're also posted on my team website, which is NoCollarPro.com. And I believe Ryan even does them on his Tribolo site. So it's an amazing vision. It's a great unifying event, unifying factor that we've all come together on, and it's just been a privilege to work with this group of people. Wives are involved, girlfriends, spouses, singles, older, younger, you name it, veterans, industry veterans. We're even having other teams dial into these particular calls and on this particular hangout. So I just feel proud that we set out a vision to accomplish something, and we are pushing full steam ahead, and we have not lost 1 ounce of steam. In fact, we're gaining momentum as a group. It's just awesome to see. So the second thing that I want to briefly tee up is, what is it? A lot of you know my background. You understand I've been president of a company we started from scratch. We grew it to $200 million within 2 years from a Craigslist ad. Was the very first independent rep we brought on board. And the reason that that's important to understand is we grew it organically. We didn't go out and get anybody else's teams. We didn't move these massive organizations over. We didn't go out and try to recruit somebody from another company. We grew that company organically. Now, that's not the only one. The second one, understanding my background, is I left that job as a president of that company to start another company, and we arguably had one of the best launches in the history of relationship marketing. We put in over 100,000, estimates of 180,000 people in our first 6 months of business, plus our few months of pre-launch. So, I mean, all in all, I really do appreciate and understand relationship marketing for what it is and what it can do for people. My most significant change in somebody's life is I brought somebody on who was making $8 an hour with a degree, had never made more than $30,000 in a year in her life. And when I spoke to her in January of this year, her check was nearly $50,000 for that month. So I love what this profession does for people. It doesn't care if you are black, white, yellow, bearded, tattooed. Makes no difference if you're educated or uneducated, if you grew up in the country, out of the country. It just doesn't matter. The beautiful part about this profession is that it really rewards only one thing, and that is belief. Belief in yourself. Belief that you can do this, and you can. Now, one of those rising stars in the NoCollar brand is a gentleman named Matt Taylor, and I asked him to be on this hangout with me. And I'm going to put him on the spot. He really has no idea. We didn't coordinate ahead of time. But I know he's really good at thinking on the fly. He's got a really sharp mind. He's been very impressive as he's just bringing on a great team, and started out in his local area in Atlanta, and has branched out to, I think, the Indianapolis area. He's going to Hawaii with me to help do an event for Legendary Life and Marlon Luna and that crew. So I'm going to bring Matt on, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk a little bit about kind kind of what he's been doing, and I'm going to put him on the spot and ask him some questions. So here we go. How you doing? Can you hear me? You're still muted? You got to unmute your side. There you go.
There we go.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. Good to be with you, brother.
So, everybody, this is Matt Taylor. Matt is just relatively new. I mean, less than a month into the business, and if he didn't just hit F3, he's about to hit F3, and with his sights squarely set on hitting F4 next month, as per our last discussion. So, with that, Matt, do me a favor. I would like to know, really, I'm going to put you on the spot if I can. So you invested right after joining, within like a week or so, we had the New York regional, and all of a sudden you called me the night before and said, "Hey, I'm coming. What do you think?" And I'm like, "Great, God bless America." I mean, I got a couch in my hotel room. You're welcome to crash on the couch, and you went full college style and did the couch in my hotel room, and myself and Jeff Shelton, the leader of Global Moneymakers out of Maryland, we were sharing a room, and you were prepared to crash on the floor. First of all, I want you to tell everybody, number one, why was it so important that you came to that event, and what were the takeaways that you got specifically out of going to that event?
Well, and mind you, I actually joined. I paid my dues Friday in your hotel room.
Oh, nice! I had forgotten we had started talking a week before. No, actually, we were talking a month before, because you came in as a preferred customer and used the products and services before you ever joined. Is that correct?
Yes, I was. If I gotta be blunt, I don't even know how many people are listening to this, but I'm a pessimist. As far as I'm optimistic in the world and life, but as far as MLMs, you know, I lived in Utah. I was surrounded by it, so I did come in pessimistic. And so I did a lot of digging, a lot of research, and a big part of it was being tied to Rob. You know, Rob, your record, you know, you've always followed your morals, your integrity, and you've never let anything get away with that. If anything ever did get in the way of that, you left in a timely manner. You sacrificed very promising financial future. So I knew I wanted to be tied to you. I knew I wanted to do that. And I don't know, it got sick of, you can never get anywhere, you can never move forward sitting on your butt. You can't move forward sitting back on the couch and watching anybody else progress. I was watching Marlon Luna blow up. I was just watching that blow up every day on the Facebook page. I got sick of seeing Marlon on the hour, "Hey, welcome so-and-so to the team, welcome so-and-so to the team." I was about to smack Marlon upside the head, like, "Yo, back up." But I was watching the team progress. And that's what really led me dial in. I was like, I need to see what this team is all about. So I showed up on Thursday to join you in Maryland and watch, and just to see your pitch to a group of 15, 20 people, and to just support you and see what you're all about. And that's really what it was. I needed to see what the team was all about in person and take action, because you never know what you're all about, what you're getting into by typing on a computer. As much as this is the video game era, this is technology, you've got to get your feet wet. You've got to jump in the pool to know if you know how to swim. You've got to figure it out. And so I had to get in there and just see what it was all about. And I tell you, that weekend was fantastic. I mean, Saturday morning in New York, Times Square, I was trying to sit on my hands because I didn't want to be one of those guys pumping their fists for Wake Up Now. I didn't want to be that. I didn't want to be the cheerleader. And then an hour and a half into it, man, I was that guy pumping, "Wake up now." And we hadn't even gotten to our boy Rob McFadden speaking in the afternoon. And then you got up speaking in the afternoon, and this was family. And the cool thing was, though, I made some relationships there in New York. I had a meeting on Thursday, you know, here in Atlanta. We had a great meeting last Thursday with people that weren't even part of our team. You know, it was real exciting to do that. I had a follow-up call yesterday. Guy begging me to do it again. Can we host a meeting? Can we host a meeting this Thursday? Had to tell him, unfortunately, I'm in Hawaii, but let's do it next week. And these are people that I'm not going to make any money off of them joining, but what it does for me to have the chance to really feel that I'm placing my hands, getting my feet in the opportunity to change somebody else's lives. You watch the way people interact, the way they suddenly have hope for whatever it is. They all have their own whys about why they're in Wake Up Now. But I don't know, it's just awesome to be able to take part in that aspect of somebody else's life, in where they actually see their dreams again that they let go at the age of 16 when they had their first child.
So let me ask you a question. So if you went to New York, so you went to a big event, right? There was circa, I don't know, 2,700 people at that event. Would you recommend for the new person getting involved, just looking at Wake Up Now, would you recommend them going to a big event in their area if there was one?
Can I say hell yes?
Yeah. No, you can't say that.
I mean, we'll just say let's say like, why am I going to Hawaii right now? I mean, this is Marlon's team. I think I got some people there I'll reach out to, but there's no promise of why am I going to Hawaii, right? You're going to be there. I was talking to Marlon about this. We were just chatting today, and we talked about it. And really, sometimes you gotta fuel the fire to keep the fire burning, right? You also gotta feed it, because fuel will ignite quickly. It'll burn hot, but then you've got to feed the fire. But occasionally, you need to add fuel to the fire to keep it burning and keep it hot. And these events, when you get together in groups, that's fueling the fire. It to me, emotionally recommits me. I go to these things and I see I have a team that cares about me. Like, say, me and you joke around. We had met once in person through Solove. You kind of didn't remember. You were very busy, very occupied. But since we started talking in 2 months, you always joke around that, we've met, we've known each other 2 months, but it feels like we're brothers. Like, you go to these things and you're just reminded that you have support. And the community of Wake Up Now, which again is another reason I'm part of it, is it really is, the Zig Ziglar quote, it embodies it. This is you hear it throughout Wake Up Now. My parents have been tricked by MLMs their whole life with the hope of making that big dollar. But this is the first time I've seen something where it embodies that notion. To you, those of you that don't know the quote, and Rob knows it verbatim if I screw it up, but it to the sense is, you help enough people get what they want, you yourself, it can't help but get what you want. But it's never been about that with other companies. It's never been about that. It's always, you see the pay scale, you see the good stories, but it's the guys up top getting paid. Well, in Wake Up Now, if the people below you are not getting paid, you yourself will not be getting paid. You truly help other people get what they want, and it just happens for you. And the way you feel on a daily basis talking to people. You think MLMs are annoying, check out their Facebook pages. The people involved in a multi-level marketing company, even the companies that we don't like so much, look at their Facebook pages. Look at what they're about on a day-to-day basis. Look how happy they are. They're trying to encourage and live a happier, healthier life daily.
Yeah.
So that's what you want. You go to these events like we're going to in Hawaii, and I know you probably wanted a shorter answer, but I get so excited about it. Is you go to these things, you get that strength, you get those people you can reach out to, and because you're showing them love, they're even going to follow up even faster. They're there for you. You have that team. It gives you the confidence to just go out and start speaking. You just got to start talking to people, and that's where you gain the confidence.
Cool. Well, I appreciate that. That was a very heartfelt answer, and that's why I wanted you on the call. So you definitely recommend people to go to a big event because they feel a sense of community. If they've been in for a while, it's a sense of rejuvenation. It's a sense of really a tie down to the commitment that they had originally made to participate and to build a business. And so I appreciate big events. I love big events. To me, it's been said in the industry a lot of times that big decisions happen at big events. Well, that's really where in a big event like New York, that's where I made my commitment to do an executive run, which means I am going to head down, build until I get to be an executive, and in order to do that, I've got to support guys like you to get to F5 or F6. And in order for me to achieve my goal, I have to just help you make money. Well, that's a very rewarding thing to be able to make your life's passion helping other people make money. So it's extremely synergistic, especially with Wake Up Now, because the path to get there is really laid out and very achievable. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is, your team is you're new. Your team is young. You're just starting to grow. I would like you to highlight kind of some of the most recent experiences that you had that maybe some of these new people that are just getting involved, or they've been involved and they don't quite have a team growing yet. So just share with us a couple of examples of, either how you have prospected somebody or how you have introduced the concept of Wake Up Now and being in business for themselves, and how they reacted. I'm just curious. I know you've got some because I know your team is growing. So just give us some insight into some of the things you've done recently and some of the experiences you've had.
Man, Rob, I have to tell you, like 10 come to mind at once. Do you have any particular that are on the top of your head that you'd like to hear?
No, I know that the other day you were just telling me about, you were just explaining it to this guy at work, and he wanted to do it before he even realized there was an income component to it.
Yeah, I'll tell you that one quick. You want a 30-second recap of that one?
You give me whatever you feel.
Oh, man. No, there's a guy at work. He was actually passing. I was talking to another buddy who just signed up last week. Dre John signed up as a preferred customer. He's selling his iPad so that he can pay for it and get on it and get his guys under him.
That's commitment.
So we were just chatting, and this guy walks by, and he's kind of skeptical on the unknown, and he says something asks about what we're talking about. And I said, oh, you're not about that life. He's like, what? I said, no, man, it's cool. I said, it takes a little bit of change what we're talking about, a little bit of sacrifice. You're not about that life. You're comfortable where you're at. And he was kind of offended. Like, I know the guy. We talk a little trash like that. We're in Atlanta, so we are a bit sarcastic out here. But he comes and sits down next to me. He's like, what are you talking about? And I said, all right, I'm going to see if, number one, it's worth my time. Number two, if it's worth two time, I'm going to give you 2 comments. I said, these 2 comments, and when I say these, you tell me if you want to hear anything more. But I don't want to waste too much of your time. I said, number one, I hate MLMs. I hate multi-level marketing. I can't stand network marketing. I like the idea of a pyramid. Every successful business is a pyramid, and I'll break any down if you have any questions. From Delta, where I work at, to any company, a pyramid is success, its structure, its order. So that's not the problem. But in general, multi-level marketing companies, I have a problem with them. And I broke down from enrollment fees. So I have my checklist of 5 things that I check off. If someone pitches it to me, I'm out. I get pitched weekly. Mint was the most recent one. If you haven't heard of it, you will. That $1,000 to get going. Imagine that. But I have my reasons I'm out. That being said, I went into that with him for a minute, and then I said, okay, that's number 1. Number 2, I'm about to tell you about a network marketing company that I joined. I said, but I'm serious. Heads up, that's what this is about. That is what I'm going to talk to you about. I said that's what. But I joined it, and I'm 100% in. I believe in it. And putting the 2 comments together, that I'm so against it, and I just came back with you and told you I joined one. If that leaves enough question in your mind that your mind is open enough to hear what I have to say, I've got more for you. If it doesn't, that's cool. And he was kind of like frustrated, twisted. He's like, well, man, now I gotta listen. He's like,
you just proposed an oxymoron. I got to figure out how the story ends.
Oh, he was so frustrated. His head was twisted. He was like, yes, of course, just shut up and talk to me. So I'm like, okay. So we talked, and by the way, I had Lucci, who was actually not at the meeting last week, but some of his people were. He's behind me. So it's another guy I had met, and I just met the guy 10 minutes earlier who I had been guiding his team the week before. So he's behind me, and he's loving this. But we're just talking, and I started talking to him about just the products, that what's involved in Wake Up Now. Because I was telling him why I'm about this, what it does, I explained the difference, and I said, now some of these companies that, you've got, in order for a pyramid not to be a pyramid scheme and to be legal, you've got to have value. You've got to have product going down as well as money going up to the top. So you've got to have value to the customer, that even if they're not in there as an IBO, as a businessman, they see value. That being the IBO is an extra step to where they can now share this. I said, and that's where a company's legal. Let me show you how we're legal. Let me tell you about the products. And I just talked to him about the basic products. Told him about how he can purchase anything that he can on Amazon for an Amazon price or cheaper through the hub. Talked to him, and then we really spent time on finance. I talked to him about the finance, how he can get on there and connect different things and really set goals. If he's wondered how to get out of debt, he can set goals and find out how to target them and receive email notifications to keep them on track. That's just the problem, is we all can do it, we just don't know how to stay on track and be organized with our finances. How can you hit goals and hit those dreams? And then we talked about TaxBot. And throughout the process of talking about those things, I never made it about me. I constantly quoted people above me, said this isn't me being me and doing something special. You know you're going to be guided the right way because I'm not reinventing the wheel. A wheel knows how to spin. Sometimes you got to customize the wheel with some nice rims, but a wheel knows how to roll. I said, I'm quoting people above me who have been more successful than me, that know how to do this, have made hundreds of thousands, some have made millions. You know, talking Ryan DeLuce done this well, Rob McFadden. And then I talked about TaxBot, and I talked about people that had created TaxBot and what it was about, and just told them how $10,000 or more is often left on the table with the average W-2 employee, and how just with that TaxBot, what your potentials are to get back every month. With that, and how having a home-based business is a key to getting that. These are all things that are on the videos that Wake Up Now is linked to. I didn't recreate anything. I had my own passion. I had my own character within it. So as I'm talking about the TaxBot, dude jumps up, like literally jumps up in the, down in our break room at the airport, throws his hand in the air. He's like, I'm about this. He says, I got to get in. He says, you tell me $99 and I'm in, and I get all that. I said, every month. $99, you get that every month. He said, I'm going to get more than $1,200 back from TaxBot. He says, then the finance. He says, then I'll buy stuff. Because while we were there, we looked up some Jordans. He can buy Jordans through the hub. He said, I'm going to get my $1,200. He says, I'm in. I said, hold up. I haven't even told you that you can get paid for this. I said, there's a business aspect. I said, what? I said, you like the products well enough, the company's willing to hire you to market the products. All you got to do is sign up to be hired on. He said, what? I said, yeah, that $99, you tell us you want to be an IBO. I'm not going to make you be an IBO. Use the products. But you want to be an IBO? You want to share this with your friends and family? The company will pay you for bringing those people on board. And it can go from there, and I'll show you how to reach outside your friends and family if you want to do it. And he was blown away at that. He looked at the guy next to me. He said, you said you're on this? He said, yeah. The guy next, and Lucci said, yeah, you get paid, bro. He's like, it's easy. He says, you get paid real money. I said, your target? I said, the numbers are real, the money's real, thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars are optional, but let's target $100 to $600 next month. Let's see if we can get you that $600. So that's our target. We'll discuss other options as they come closer. He said, dude, the lady runs the house. I'm going to go talk to her. Let's meet up, and you're going to help me close it. I said, cool.
I love it. That's a great story. I'd never heard that detail, but you'd given me a cursory overview of that, and that was probably one of the ones that I had in my mind. We don't need to sit and root through them. What I do want everybody to understand is look, this is a guy that works with you. You have interaction with. I love your approach, how you did a takeaway right in the beginning, and he's like, hey, what are you guys talking about? You're not about this. What do you mean I'm not about this? Yeah, it's about saving money. It's business. You're not about it. I love that you did a takeaway from the guy before he even knew what was going on. So
I'll say briefly, just real quick, why I take that approach, because there's people really starting to talk in Atlanta at the airport, especially like Wake Up Now, and there was another person watching, and I wanted them to catch on is to not oversaturate your market also. Don't go around everywhere. You want to be about it, but be about it through use, through testimonial, and there's a way to communicate with people. If everywhere you go, in sales, don't show up and throw up. You don't just constantly in everybody's face about it, because people are going to walk away and avoid you.
Yeah.
So it's like it's an indirect invitation in sales.
Well, I don't think people quite realize that there's strength in restraint. So not telling someone everything that you could possibly tell them is actually a position of strength. And just to wrap up the call, because we're at 6:30, and I certainly appreciate your help, but just to wrap it up, somebody said the other day, he says, look, I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies any day. And my response to that was, yeah, because 100 pennies makes a lot of noise, and it's a heck of a lot heavier to carry around. Making the analogy that, look, you don't want 100 people in your business if all they're going to do is complain and weigh you down, and that's not a smart business decision just to go out and put anybody and everybody you can in the business. There is a qualifying scenario that you take people through. I literally take people through a series of questions, and there's certain people I don't want to work with. And so, in fact, there was a guy that I didn't want to work with, and so I called somebody in my team and said, hey, this guy's ready to sign up, but I don't want to work with him, so if you want him, you're going to have to teach him and mentor him and maintain him and support him and help him get on his path to goals. But you got to be the buffer between the two of us because I don't want to work with him. But he's ready to go. So if you want him, you can talk to him and you can take him from point A to point Z now that he's ready to sign up. Because remember, all the work starts after you sign somebody up. After somebody decides to start a business, after somebody decides to launch a business and be a part of your team, that's when the work starts, not while you're in the process of recruiting and promoting and sharing and enlightening and whatever other descriptive words that you want to do when you're prospecting somebody. But with that said, I so much appreciate you and your energy and your personality. I'm so excited that you're coming to Hawaii with me to share some love out there with the Legendary Life team and Marlon and Brian Cadiz and Shar and Frank, and I mean there's just so many great people out there. Jeremiah Kane, we just love those guys, and I cannot wait to go out there and spend time with Audrey Dreamcatcher and that wonderful crew out there that have been such a great addition to the team. But anyway, so Mr. Taylor, thank you so much for participating in Project Freedom 100 Google Hangout with me. My name is Robert McFadden, NoCollar Pro. We are wishing you all the best and look forward to connecting with you in the future. Please reach out to anybody and everybody on the team via Facebook, and we'll get you plugged in. We'll talk to you soon.
Night.